Hey everyone, it's Joy here, your favorite tech baby. Let's talk about auto layouts. Before we go right into it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, comment, and share. All right, let's talk about auto layouts in Figma. Auto layouts in Figma is that feature that helps you to organize the elements that you have in your frame based on the roles that you've given to it. Now, the role can be the padding, the spacing, or the alignment basically. Boy, no be by talking, so let's get right into it. All right, so I'm going to start with an example where I create a button with a rectangle, right? So I'm going to be comparing rectangle and using groups to when you actually use an auto layout. So this rectangle is going to have like height of 56, and then yeah, just watch. Right, but now I'm going to type T on my keyboard and type button. Have button and shift A. Shift A gives it a frame around it, and in this frame you can see some of these setups that it is in the middle. There is 10 here, that means spacing of 10, but we don't need the spacing because this is there's only one element in the frame. We'll come back to that. Then in this particular frame, in this particular part, this is the padding left and right, horizontal padding. So let's say I change it to 12 pixels. You can see that this increased. Let me give it a few color of that purple, same purple that we used, and give it a rounded corner of 32, right? Then also change this to 56. Now if I drag this, the text stays in the middle regardless. Can you see? Text stays in the middle. For this particular one, I'm going to make it a component. For this one, a rectangle that is in a group, I'm also going to make it a component. Now let me duplicate this, copy this component. Now for this particular component, let's change the text to apply now. Right, then change this one to apply now. Can you see that this is not centralized? We have 85 here, 55 here. On the main component, which is a group, it was in the center, but since it became bigger, longer, the text became longer, it is not directly fitting by itself. But for this one, you can see that it remains consistently in the middle. So if I increase this rectangle, you can see that it keeps the text in the middle still. Now if I increase for this one, it really does not stay in the middle. Even Figma has improved the responsiveness of this particular rectangle and group thingy, but even at that, it is not the best for responsive designs. So auto layouts is going to help you with responsive design. This is one. Now let's do something else. First of all, let's say I have this text right. Now I'm going to click on duplicate and drag it all over the place. see that everything is grouped in this manner. But now if I ungroup these stuffs and select everything and shift A to add auto layout, can you see the kind of arrangement this thing gave it? This is what we call a grid auto layout, and this is new feature of Figma. But now let's go back to when we had the vertical, for example. You can see that everything automatically arranged itself to the vertical format, right? So I'm going to change this to all content here. Everything gets ordered, right? Now everything is arranged vertically and with a spacing of 10 pixels. So if I want to change this to 24, you can see that it's spaced out everything with 24. If you want to change it to horizontal, you can see that still using the spacing of 24. Everything arranged horizontally. Now I want to change it back to vertical. Can you see what happened there? This particular thing I've already mentioned the spacing. You can see the red line. The red line shows that the spacing we're talking about is the spacing between all of these names, right? Then this particular one that is 0 is the left and right padding. That is the horizontal padding of the particular frame you are on. So if I add 24, you can see that there's a spacing of 24 left and right. If I had 32 for this one, which is the vertical padding top and down, you see that there's a spacing of 32 up and down. So now let's add a fill color of black to this thing and give it a shape of, a corner radius of, let's say 12. You can see this. So can you see this particular place is showing you the alignment? So you can choose whatever alignment you want. You can choose align left, top left, align center left, align bottom left. Same thing with this one. Everything in the middle is from center. So top center, middle center, and bottom center. Same thing for the right, top right, middle right, and bottom right. So let's practicalize that. This is the frame we're working with, right? Right now it is on top left. So that means if I increase this frame, you can see that the content remains at the top. If I also increase the width, you can see that it remains at the top left. Now let me Ctrl Z. Let me change the settings to align center. Now if I increase this, you can see that the content remains in the center. If I increase the width, it also remains at the center. So auto layout helps you organize your data very easily, right? So you can also try top and bottom right. Now if I increase the height, you can see that it sticks to the bottom. If I increase the width, it sticks to the bottom. Yeah, then that's just one magic auto layout helps you. Now I'm going to enter to select all of the child in this frame and change everything to view content. And change it to view content. So let's imagine that this is Janet, right? Darwin, Tony, Angelo, whatever we are. Now this is still here, so 120. Watch what happens. Did you see that it automatically fits the content to this particular frame size? Now remember, we'll have 24 padding left and right. I want to change it to just 8. Can you see what happened? This is what Autolayouts is going to help you do. But if you were to use a group, I've duplicated this, and let's say I want to remove the Autolayout. Can you see this icon? Use it to remove Autolayout, or select Alt Shift A. So I click on this. Now I have just a frame. Now I want to change the frame to a group, right? So you can see what happened. It automatically removes all of the settings I have done to it. So let's say I actually add in the frame, in the group. I want to increase the size. Can you see what is happening? It is not automatically fitting and respecting the spacing that we already added. Unlike here, if I reduce the size, you can see that the spacing is consistent. The spacing remains consistent because we're giving it a rule to follow just 24 pixel spacing between the content. Alright, so now let me use this example. So for this, let me use this example. I'm just going to duplicate. So now we have 5, right? Let's see, change this. I change this to 14 and make it semi-bold, and I select this, change it to 12. It's already in 12 regular, then let me give it 8 bits, right, for hierarchy's sake. I actually want to use 12 for speed, so let's just say 12. Right, now based on what I already taught you, I gave it the spacing. I gave this particular name and description a spacing of 4, which is fine, right? Now I want to fill container. I want to select it and fill container. That means I'm setting the rule that whatever is in this frame should fill the parent container, right? That is there. So let's say I'm changing this one to I love to sing and watch movie. Now this is coming out of the frame. That means I still need to select each child and also give it a rule to fill container. Now did you see what happened? Because I told you to fill container, it is no longer going out of that container. So now we have this. Now I also want to set this original frame that it should have the alignment of top left. Now did you see what happened? It's bringing this particular circle to the top left. So anything I create is just going to drop down and increase the frame without changing that arrangement. Okay. So now I want to select everything and put everything in Autolayout Shift A. If you want to do Shift A, you can select Ctrl Z. Yeah. So I'm selecting all of this and click on this. So add it into Autolayout. So now I have a spacing of 34. I want to change it to just 8. You see what happened? Now I'm also going to select all the child containers. So view containers already there. So now I'm going to be playing with the size of the major container. Can you see what is happening? Can you see? Autolayout helps you to build a responsive design, and then we are going to go into more details and go to the advanced level